lovely, Robyn the Red and Lipika the Light. And so, Lipika,
Yes.
I noticed you're sitting with Robyn the Red.
Right here. Right there.
So, tell me, first of all, what was your first impression of Robyn?
My first impression of Robyn was,
The writers.
I think it was speechless. I think I was speechless. She came in. Some people, when people are sitting around a table, they might kind of sneak in a little bit, and they'll just quietly pull the chair out and they'll sit. They'll get their stuff out. That's not what Robyn did. She said, "I'm here," and I was like, "Oh!" We were mid-exercise, and I said, "Look how red her hair is," was my second impression.
Thanks to Clairol.
And I said, "I love your hair." As she put her stuff down, she said, "Thanks to Clairol." But the thing I love about Robyn, first and second impressions aside, is that she's brought a lot of color to my life, not just the Clairol. She kind of taught me to be not so polite. I've spent my whole life being polite, because I am maybe browner than my southern people, not black, not white, child of immigrants, and so my parents were kind of like, so we sat down, and when we got the big eyes from our mom, that meant hush it.
Yeah, your mama had it too.
She had it.
That must be genetic with mamas.
Somehow one eye could get bigger than the other. She just looked like one of those cartoons sometimes where she'd go, and we would go. So, and being a mom of two, one who is 24 and one who's almost 11, I still am in the habit all this time of being polite and quiet. But sometimes nobody learns who you are that way. And I didn't know that this was a possibility. I didn't know that you could speak your mind and be adored and loved and accepted for who you are. And Robyn taught me that. And I really love bringing my daughter around her, because she's such a good example of how you can be. If you want to be different, be different. If you want to be yourself, absolutely be yourself. And what I didn't expect was these periodic messages from her that I didn't know I needed. Like, you're an anchor around here. I'm thinking about you. And I just feel warm from head to heel when I get things like that, because you have a heart a mile wide, and I love being in it.
Oh, well, that's lovely. And you know what? It's like our writers group they all were all so serious. Okay, and I got a story right here for old Blanche in a minute. Is that they were serious writers, and we would go there for a week at St. George Island, and this beautiful home, 3 stories, and there were, what were it, 14 women?
I think 14.
14 in our group. And they all said, then we'd have exercises in the morning and the afternoon and evening, and they'd be so serious. And I was the only poet, you know. I mean, I was the only poet there, and I thought, well, I was trying to pass for white, you know. It was like, it's a series of, the depth and the pure intellectual expression of all this group of women was just amplifying for me, you know, because of course, I mean, I have a lot of stories and have lived them, and yet what they do is they put that kind of stuff down on paper. And you know, to me, putting it, that's harder. I always like poetry. You can say a lot with little, you know. But then it was reaffirming for me, and also to the different life experiences. Because when you hear sitting around and it's like you have 14 sisters, you know. And I only had 2 brothers, and so it was always a uniqueness. And I look forward to many, many years of friendship, and also being there and hooping and hollering when you graduate. You make us all proud, my Grace.
Mm-hmm.
You are, you've got a great mama. No, thank you.
Always giving. She gives encouragement, and she gives actual things, beautiful things. She gives her time. She gives us her thoughts, and I don't know someone who tells a story like Robyn. I just don't. It really is just depth. The depth that you bring and give to us is unfathomable.
Well, I think part of the fact that I was allowed so much freedom of expression as a young child and growing up, and then also because the confidence that where other people, and everybody's always said this about me, says, Robyn, you say what everybody's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and because you would think, well, I have to be polite or I have to be a nice little lady. And that ties in with where you thought, you know, my mother thought was, you know, she could never make a lady out of me, because it was like, especially from our background where we grew up in Belgrade, like with Roseanne and Janet here, like the example for women in the 50s, you know, it was just pretty regimented. And it wasn't until, the late 50s, early 60s, I mean, more of the women's movement came in to allow women the elbow room, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, ladies, only in 1920 did we get the opportunity to even vote. And if you've studied the suffragist movement, I hope you watched Ken Burns' thing on PBS. And they were beaten, they were killed, they were jailed, they were tied to chairs for days, I mean, you know, whatever, just to try to get the vote. So I think in this day and time now, more of the essence of the feminine is coming out, because, you know, women birth the babies, they birth the babies, and it's like, you're coming out saying, I don't want so much war anymore. I don't want all the hatred in the heart. And as more and more women are gathering and connecting with one another as sisters, saying, hey, we can create a better world with some great men.
Mm-hmm.
Great men and great women. We can do it. We can overcome all of this and create, you know, because the anthropology was my undergraduate degree. And I think in many ways I was drawn to that because it gave me a way of seeing evolution culturally from a long period of time, and how has that come out with. And so here we are today, and it's like we, especially being connected with the internet and all this kind of stuff, we have almost like a universal mindset, and that it gives us the opportunity to. Have you ever heard of the 100 monkey theory? You remember that? It was a little tiny book about like that. And what it was like a thing of like saying on these chain of islands or whatever. And one monkey discovered a special way to maybe try to open a coconut up. And so that monkey, he talked with the other one and this, that, and the other. And then next thing you know, well, and it expanded outward. And then, so then, like say the 100th monkey, it was just like, and then all of that was then, became like part of the culture, or a coconut opening, or various things. And so what we are challenged with today is that we're trying to discover new ways to open the coconuts. And as we do that, and then we share that, then it's pretty soon we're going to be able to open up the coconut of peace. And it will.
Ready for that. We're ready for that, aren't we?
Oh, hippies, you know.
I love you.
I love you too, sweet. You had the depth.
I learned it from watching you.
absolutely.